Whoopsie. Whoopi made a whoopsie, didn't she?
You mean Karen? I mean Karen Johnson?
Karen, what's her real name? Is it Johnson?
Yeah.
Karen, she's a real Karen. Is that also her real name, or are you just saying that?
No, it's her real name.
Oh, okay. I don't know what her real name
That's
is.
her God-given government name. I'll read the whole thing out for you. It's
what happened? Catch us up if people aren't paying attention.
Her real name is Karen Elaine Johnson, and rumor has it she changed her name to Goldberg because of all the Jews in Hollywood, and she thought if she had a Jewish name, she would move up there. It's just what I've heard. I don't know how true that part is, but Goldberg's a Jewish name for sure. I know that, so it does make sense.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
You know what though? I don't believe in really like real cancel culture unless you want to just cancel communism. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that we could all be on the same page as that, or we should be. But
I would like The View to be canceled, but not due to cancel culture.
Right, like nobody.
I hate the show. I think it's terrible.
Yeah, the show is awful.
I don't want it to be canceled because of cancel culture. I just want it to go away.
In this scenario, was not Whoopi Goldberg, but in this scenario,
I couldn't find a photo of her.
You couldn't find a photo of Whoopi Goldberg?
Where she just looked at distraught. She's has a weird smile and everything.
How can you not
That's
find
not
a
even
picture
Whoopi
of
Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg?
I know.
Pictures are readily available of Whoopi Goldberg. Again, underpaid for a reason.
Again, she's another. Why is it that all of these people, Trudeau, Lori Lightfoot, Whoopi Goldberg, why do they all look like the bad guy from a comic book movie?
It is. I think I have this theory about life that it is entirely a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's driven by movies. So we see something on the screen that somebody dreamed up, and then we sort of like live into it. And so we're actually creating Gothams around the country.
Oh.
And these people are evolving, politicians are evolving into mutant bad people.
Right.
It's really happening. Lightfoot is an example of that.
Wish I could turn into
she's a mutant.
Rocky.
And so, yeah, that's what's happening. And Newsom is like also the quintessential handsome bad guy, that has like the evil layer.
It's Trudeau too. Trudeau is
Trudeau,
like,
same way.
Dude, when he talks, it gives me chills. Hillary Clinton, same way. When she talks, it gives me chills. But in this case, Whoopi Goldberg, are we going to cancel her for being like retarded, just dumb?
Ooh, man!
Because I don't feel like she's racist. I feel like she's just dumb.
Yeah, no, it's ignorance.
I'm not sure that. Like, I think that really she just did not know that the Jewish people were a race.
I don't think that she knows that. I think she literally just thinks
fire somebody for being
that
stupid.
They're not a race. They're just regular white people from America,
right?
That have Berg or Steen on the end of their name. That's the extent of her Jewish understanding of the Jewish people.
Again, which is why we should not be looking to celebrities and politicians of the like for life advice or for like. I hate when people say like, "I didn't vote to Trump because I would never want my kids to grow up to be like him." That's good. I think you're on the right track there. You should not want your kids to be like any of these politicians ever. That would be awful. I'd rather my kids be heroin dealers than be politicians.
That's intense.
But Whoopi Goldberg, I feel for her. I honestly think that she's probably a supporter of Jewish people. She's probably not a hater. I mean, she gave herself a Jewish last name. I think this was a case of being a dummy. And I don't think that you fire somebody for just being dumb. But, on the side note, she does look like Grimace to me from McDonald's. Every time I see her, I'm hungry for McDonald's. So it's a great ad campaign there, especially when she wears all purple.
Yeah, it's perfect. And speaking of cancel culture, Joe Rogan, that we had all these irrelevant singers, Neil Young, who gets like 100,000 downloads a month compared to Joe Rogan's 11 million per episode, decided that he would try to step to Spotify and threaten them with essentially what is saying, I'm going to take my drop of water out of your bucket if you're not careful, guys.
Yeah.
And they said, thanks, but no thanks. We're going to keep Joe Rogan on. So,
and then Taylor Swift's, she's talking about like pulling her shit down.
Who cares, man? Good.
Come on, Taylor, you're better than that, girl. Come on, Tay-Tay.
Listen up, everyone. If you are somebody who maybe you're an entrepreneur, you have a business, maybe for some crazy reason you're already the head of a of an organization or a business. You may be high up in a police department. You may be a couple of years out from being chief or some kind of public safety director. Listen to me really good. The people that are going to be the most successful and have the greatest impact on this culture are people who are going to stand up and say, no, I'm tired of the bullshit. We're going to call crimes crimes. We're going to arrest criminals, and we're going to prosecute criminals, and we're going to call things what they are, and we're going to go after it. And we're going to just be able to be grown-ups and have opinions and live life. Be bold, because that's where the business is going to go. Spotify stock rocketed. But you know what plummeted this week? Facebook. So once you start hitting people where their money is, and a lot of people are talking about these principles these days of canceling and all that stuff. I laugh, man, because people talk about like the NFL, the kneeling in the NFL, everything that they've done, they've gone woke, and you still support them with your money. Your principles are bullcrap. And I got accused this week on social media of being part of cancel culture. There was a lady who is an actress with some company, and she had this TikTok that went viral where she said that they shouldn't have closed down the streets for this officer's funeral who was killed. He was probably doing his job badly anyway. And I shared the video, and my caption was, "She seems nice." Like, that was it. And people piled on saying, "Oh, you want to whine about cancel culture, you want to complain about cancel culture, but then you are doing the same thing." I'm like, no. Calling things what they are and exposing them. I didn't ask her to be. I didn't say, I hope she gets fired. I didn't say, I hope anybody comes down on her. That's her voice. She wanted it to be heard. She made a public video and put it out there. I amplified the message and gave her what she wanted. That's different. Exposing is not canceling.
Right.
Critiquing other people's views is not canceling. The problem isn't that somebody disagrees with Joe Rogan. The problem isn't somebody that disagrees with Whoopi Goldberg. That's not the problem. The problem is when you want to silence people you disagree with. That's the heart of cancel culture. And I don't want anything to do with it.
And you know what? Like, I also don't understand is like why we don't want to have like conversations into what people are thinking. I would want her to expound freely on what she really believes was going on with the Jews. And I don't necessarily disagree with her. If you actually listen to Whoopi Goldberg here, I know that's hard to do, but if you open your mind and just listen to her for a second, she was actually saying that it wasn't really having to do with the color of someone's skin. It had to do with evil, and it had to do with the eradication of somebody who had different beliefs and ideals than you, because Hitler felt like that the Jewish people were controlling things, overwhelmingly, monetarily, whatever.
Right.
And he wanted to eradicate them. That's what she's saying. And so, again, poor choice of words. And obviously she's wrong, but I don't know that she's a bad person for that. Right. Like, I mean, I think those are kind of natural things that if you're ignorant in something and you still have an idea of what's going on, it's not the worst thing in the world you could say. So, I mean, I'm not like the whole Whoopi Goldberg, like even the suspension thing. Like, I think it's just something we should all just be discussing and making fun of her, publicly shaming her. It's like when John Cena, called that one country a country, but it's not. It was
Taiwan or whatever,
subsect of China or whatever it is. Like, I didn't know that. I mean, I'm a C student at best, but not saying he's having to apologize to the Chinese public in Chinese. This is all just dumb.
It's
like,
a weird cycle. You say something that may be in ignorance or whatever else, and that doesn't fit the media narrative. Even if majority of people agree with you, if it doesn't fit the narrative of those in control of broadcasting and media, well, then you gotta have the heartfelt apology. You gotta let time go, and then you gotta do your social penance. It's just a ridiculous cycle.
It is, and I'm not defending Whoopi Goldberg, right? She's guilty of doing this to other people as well. I mean, she's getting a taste of her own medicine, and I'm kind of okay with that personally. But like, I think the whole thing across the board on all sides of the fence, I think it's stupid. I think when somebody says something out of context, I don't know that we need to just we have to go on what their intent was when they said it. And nobody knows what her intent was because we cut her off and just started making fun of her and shaming her without actually letting her explain herself. And I know that she doubled down on that comedy show. And I watched it, and I think I understand where she was coming from out of ignorance. I mean, she was agreeing that Hitler was evil. Just in her views, she sees racism as the color of someone's skin and not
weird. And the Holocaust was pretty racist.
Maybe you guys are all going to disagree with me, and that's fine. But again, this is just like my opinion on the subject. I think that too often we all just look for one thing that somebody misspeaks, and then we just go to town on it. And instead of letting them apologize and move on, we have to go through all this rigmarole of canceling and yada yada. I mean, same with the Neil Young and the Joe Rogan thing. He doesn't like the people that Joe Rogan interviews. So now all of a sudden we have to make a big skeptical of everything instead of just saying, "Oh, I don't like that," and just moving on with your life. You've got to.
There's an account, Tank's Good News or something like that, and we gotta move on. But I saw him make a really good analogy. He was like, "Listen, if you disagree with Joe Rogan, that's fine, but you can't." Demanding that he be silenced because he doesn't think like you is a bad path to go down. It'd be like sitting at a restaurant and you overhear one guy talking to another guy and asking him some questions about what he thinks, and you don't like his answers. You think they're bad. You think they're wrong. You think they're dangerous ideas or whatever else, and you get up and go tell the manager that you demand you're not going to eat there unless they're removed. And it's like, how arrogant do you have to be to think that unless someone thinks exactly like you, that they shouldn't have the right to speak? It's so arrogant, and it's so painfully ironic or hypocritical to be in a world that's supposed to value tolerance, where we want to silence people that don't agree with what we think. It's silly. It's just, we're not going to be able to, until we broadly, I think, as a culture, unite around the fact that it's okay to disagree. Then I don't know what hope there is unless people can come together and accomplish a common goal of living a good life with character and integrity while disagreeing about some things. I think that's critical.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this clip of the Failure to Stop podcast. If you like the show, the clips that you're seeing here, you can listen to the full episode wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to drop that 5-star rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. And if you want to connect with us on social media, look for Failure to Stop